Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Now, as you saw from the title, we're back in Tiny Sailor's World. I haven't done a video on this game in a long time. A lot has changed. Now, today, I'm still working on the game. I'm working on the game. Next devlog is coming out soon. It's also the last day of school today, so I'll be able to put in a lot more work after today. Now, this is basically trying this goal here. We're trying to circumnavigate the entire map in Tiny Sailor's World. So what I mean by that, Southampton to New York, then from New York to San Fran, San Fran to Manila, and Manila back to Southampton. Now, I got a pretty good ship, the Empress of Britain. It holds a good amount of passengers, so we're going to be able to get a lot of money when we dock so that we can repair the ship in case of any accidents. And it also has a pretty good amount of health. 8,570 to be exact. So we're going to be fine if we hit a mine or get torpedoed. The main thing about this ship, though, is its speed. For its passenger capacity, this ship actually goes pretty fast. It can go at 21 knots with the watertight doors closed. That's the same top speed that the Titanic in this game goes at. Same with any other Olympic class ship. Thus why I picked this. So I've spawned in some pet boats and we're already rapidly approaching New York. Also, if you're wondering, this is a 5 times speed up of the simulation. There is a timer in the corner where the Tiny Sailor's World logo should be. Now, we have arrived in New York. I've stopped the engines. Well, I've actually reversed the engines. And see, look at the maneuver I do here. See, what I do is that the passengers get automatically unloaded, I load them back in, and then turn. And see, a very handy feature is that once you dock in a port, that port stays on your render screen if your render settings is set to ultra. So that means after this entire thing, I'll be able to go to the center of the map and basically be able to take a screenshot of the entire map. Thus, we could try to create our own little map off of that. But yeah, now the sun is setting, and this is where things start to get a bit tricky. See, I believe there is another oil rig here which rapidly pops up in front of my screen without warning. I'm pretty sure it's after the icebergs. And maybe not past the islands, maybe it's before the islands. But see, I didn't really pay attention because, I looked underwater, there were mines. I turned away from the mines, but it's very hard to navigate through a minefield, especially if it's in the middle of the dark. And you're going to be seeing what has happened right now. I turned my lights off so that U-boats spawn in, and I turned them back on. Now, in a second, you should see an oil rig pop up out of nowhere, and then we hit the mine. I'm pretty sure. Yes, here we go. So it dealt a lot of damage. I closed the watertight doors, and then I pumped out the water. Now, even though we have a lot of damage, we are still able to go at a smooth 16 knots. Usually any other ship could only go 10 knots with this type of damage. Anyways, we then arrive in San Francisco, and we unload our passengers. I actually try to pump out the water as soon as possible, but we can't do that, so I just decided to repair the ship, load back in the passengers, and now we are heading to Manila. Now, when I was doing my test run for the Empress of Britain's sea trials, there were quite a lot of obstacles in between San Francisco and Manila. Probably one of the toughest routes out there, especially because of all the icebergs, the islands, the mountains. One time I nearly collided with one, in fact. Now, here we have they're not the best waves, but they're not the worst either. and it kind of rocks the ship a bit, where we slow down a tiny bit, so I decide to open back up the watertight doors. And now the sun is rising once again. Now I believe it should be summer, so this weird pink sky will go away. I still have no idea why it's like that. And I'm still pretty confused on why there are icebergs in the southern Pacific during summertime. It's a bit interesting, but it's Tiny Sailor's World. And as you can see, we can see every single part of the map now. Soon, we're going to be in Manila, and then we will turn to Southampton for our final parts of our round the world voyage in Tiny Sailor's World. Now, of course, if you see this recording, you think this is going to be a piece of cake. Well, not really. The only time I'd recommend you do this is if you had exactly 1 hour of time to spare, so that you could get your ship set up, your passengers set up, your pet boat set up, and in case if you ever needed to retry something or have a slower ship, then it would still work. Now we are here in Manila. I've loaded back in the passengers, and now it is time to go to our final destination, back at Southampton. Now, I would have upgraded the ships, but I didn't really feel like doing it. See, because I wanted to see how much money I would have totally gotten from this entire voyage. Here, I believe that's the Mauritania 2. I think it's the Mauritania too, but it's kind of beached on that piece of land there. Don't know how that happens. Currently, we are now going to be going to another area of. Wait, how did that happen? Well, actually, we never had that segment before because there's a weird illusion. See, we know where Southampton is, we know where Manila is, but we don't know anything in between. So even though it looks like it's going to be a clear path, oh boy, it is not going to be a clear path at all. But this recording is about to come to its end. If you're still here, I hope you enjoyed watching my global voyage. I think I might release an unlisted raw version of it. Yeah, that's another oil rig. I steered clear of that. And now, in a bit, you should be seeing us arriving in Southampton. Funny thing about it is that there was actually a ship sinking when I got there, so that was pretty interesting. And there's that sinking ship that I was talking about earlier. Of course, now we have completed our voyage. We've circumnavigated the entire map in Tiny Sailor's World. Don't mind the sinking ship there. That's what I was thinking. But hey, at least we got some free cash from lifeboats. Then I stopped the ship, blow the horn, and announced my success. Well, yeah, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.